Joanna, Joanna, Joanna. All right, Faith, get us started.
Greetings, everybody. I hope today has been a great and wonderful day for you all. And I would like to welcome you all to NCRF TV's Elevate Your Game series, where we help you boost your knowledge and your network with industry experts touching on opportunities, resources, information, and tools to help grow you. Today's topic is careers for computer coders, and our special guest today is CEO and founder of Vision Voice Inc., Dessa Shepherd. Here is our internship and careers manager, Mrs. Denise Parker.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Elevate Your Game. It is an inside look on today's topic on careers for computer coding. So if you see that live stream QR code right there, please join it. But before we get started and introduce our special guest, I would like to have some special announcements. So let's go to our shared screen.
Alrighty, so for today's special announcements, we're going to start off with our incubator program. If you would like to keep up with our amazing series and all of these amazing career professionals that we have, and any other internship opportunities that they give us or any scholarships that we have, please go ahead and scan that QR code so that way we can, send you some information that is relevant to what you want to do. Alongside that, one of our amazing opportunities that we received is the Federal Aviation Administration is looking for air traffic controllers. These are the people with the lights on the ground that are guiding the planes, as well as the people in the control tower. So if you are 18 and 30 years, if you are between the ages of 18 and 30 years old, they are willing to train you as well as educate you, and you can make a pretty penny. So if you are interested, please scan that QR code. And applications open in 2 days, and they're only open for 3 days. It is a very short window. So please be aware of that.
Well, let's wait. Before we get started, keep going. It's between June 24th, what is that, Friday, through the 27th. So that's a very short window for the application. We've got hit. Tons of people are asking us about it, but it's only a 3-day window to apply. Okay, and it's the federal, so it's national, it's nationwide. So it's airports across the country that are connected to the FAA, which all of them are. You'll have an opportunity to get trained. You definitely will need a ton of training because it's a very high profile job, and you can make upwards of $164,000. That's pretty decent money. Next, go right ahead.
All right, our next one is specifically with Vision Voice Inc. They are having a computer science training. So for this opportunity, you can get 2 weeks of training. And then if you pass training, you get an interview with a high tech company for a high paid entry level position. There are only 20 of these positions open. Application closes on June 30th. And so if you are interested, please scan that QR code. If you have any questions, that is why we do have Miss Dessa here today. She will be speaking on all of the amazing things regarding computer science and coding. So again, scan that QR code if you are interested.
Excellent. We'll talk more about this opportunity. And
All right, and so finally for our announcements, we have event planning and communication careers with Robbie Cyron. So he will be coming next week on the 30th, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is West Coast California time. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is New York, Florida time. So we will be streaming this live again on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. But if you are interested in more of this information, go ahead and scan that QR code, and we will be sending you all of our wonderful links and all the background information you need to know on that.
And just to reiterate to everybody that if you want all this information in one location, then you will go to the first QR code that we scanned, that we asked you to scan is right there for our Elevate Your Game virtual career incubators, workshops, informational sessions, so that you can find out more information about all the things we're doing with the National College Resources Foundation. Thank you for having all our announcements, Faith. And now we're going to introduce our special guest, Miss Dessa Shepherd. Give me just a second. Give me. Hello, Dessa. How are you?
Hi, Denise. I'm doing good today. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. I just
Nice.
wanted just to take this time to say thank you for joining us for this wonderful opportunity to talk about all things in software engineering, coding, computer science, all the things that our young people are interested in, especially in today's society where everything is going technology. Can you tell us why you're here?
I'm here because you invited me and I wanted to share, I wanted to support and share amazing opportunities with folks with the foundation that are available for students right now and are
Mhm.
going to be available for students down the line as well. Um,
Mhm.
Specifically with Vision Voice and our Access to Tech Software Engineer Program Initiative. So, really just opening the doors of opportunity for careers for those who love to code or are interested in that career pathway.
Excellent. Excellent. So we record these sessions and also we're live streaming. So for those who are watching and want to join, I'm going to add the live stream code here. You can just easily, I'll take off our Elevate Game series. You can easily scan that code and you can come to our backstage and talk and ask questions and get more information in detail about all things regarding coding, all things regarding computer science, and talk to Miss Dessa Shepherd from Vision Voice Incorporated. So while we're just doing our quick little intros, um, tell us a little bit about yourself, Dessa.
Okay, absolutely. So I'm Dessa. I'm the founder and CEO of Vision Voice. I started Vision Voice because I was working at a local boot camp here in New York City, and I was training folks to become software engineers. And when it came time for them to get hired in tech, I noticed that, you know, women and women of color were experiencing a lot of challenges in accessing their
Mhm.
first role in tech. Um, while while but because I of my specific role there, I wasn't able to do all that I wanted and I thought was necessary for them to gain access to roles in tech. So I started to do a lot of research so that I can understand more about the tech ecosystem and landscape. And that was that was the birth of Vision Voice, specifically our Access to Tech Software Engineer Program Initiative, which I'm going to be really excited to talk to you guys about today. Where we we've developed a strategy, and a way of addressing the needs of people of color in understanding the technical interview process and being able to land their first role in tech.
So, what are some of the different roles in computer science, computer engineering, or in coding that you can say that you've helped young people excel in?
I think the main career pathway that I can speak to and love to speak to is software engineering, just because there's a huge problem in the tech ecosystem where less than 2% of software
Mhm.
engineers identify as female and Black or African American, and so we want to see greater representation of people of color and women of color in tech as the people building the technologies of today and tomorrow.
I see different roles that are being pushed to the forefront. Why is
Mhm.
coding coding such a good role to consider as a career?
Right. So again, coding, software engineering, software development, you'll hear a lot of different terms thrown out around
Mhm.
what it means. But essentially, being able to basically develop software, which is the way that tech, computers speak. And for example, the reason we are able to have this particular live stream event is because software engineers developed the technology or coded the technology that would allow us to do so. So
Mhm.
this is this this app, which is called StreamYard, is allowing us to have this amazing interaction in real time across
Mhm.
multiple platforms. And so
Mhm.
that's something that software engineers, alongside many other stakeholders in the tech ecosystem, such as project managers, product managers, goodness gracious, CTOs, all the different folks, but the folks that are actually responsible for developing this technology are the coders, are the software engineers and developers.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we were just talking about this the other day, Dessa, that how coding is everywhere. You can't even walk around without being confronted with something that has to do with something within coding or software engineering. And I see how important it is now for us, even people who never studied programming and all the different aspects of putting a code together.
Mhm.
How important it is just to learn the basics because it's now becoming a second language, and how important it is to incorporate this type of technology, and it's going to be nothing but the future. So what can you say to that? Like in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, if you don't know how to code, like the kids that are coming to elementary school, if they don't know how to code, they probably wouldn't be able to get a job when they, graduate from high
You're
school or
frozen a
college.
little bit, but I think I get the gist of your question. So again, as technology becomes more and more influential within in our lives, I mean, right now you can't escape whether you go to the doctor, whether you're trying to pick up your medicine, whether you're getting Uber Eats, you're getting an Uber or a Lyft to go somewhere, um, whether you're ordering via Amazon. I don't know about you, but a lot of folks have been ordering over the pandemic via Amazon. So, I mean, there's a lot of different technologies out here. If you're walking down the street, you see the traffic lights, all all monitored by technology, or software. For example, they're timed, right? The street
Mhm.
cameras, the traffic lights, um, your cars nowadays with self-driving cars. Let's face it, technology is really having a growing and exponentially so impact on our daily lived experience. And it's the more technology becomes uh, influential in our lives, or ingrained in our lives, uh, the more the more urgent is the need for representation of people of color in tech. For example, I love this researcher, Dr. Joy Bourlami, who I highly recommend you check out Coded Bias. Great documentary. Showed how facial recognition technology was biased, skewed towards people of lighter skin tone that
Mm.
and or against people of darker skin tone. So it was having representation of folks of color in tech is really important across the board, just to create greater uh, uh, equity and a more just present and future for us as technology becomes a more this part of ingrained part of our lives. Yeah.
So let's talk about the opportunities that you have presented thus far with us.
Absolutely.
You have Vision Voice. You have this wonderful organization, and you are doing the work to increase more diversity in the tech sector, specifically training, helping them to ace their tech interviews. What are the things that you guys are doing?
Specific, you're frozen a little bit again. I don't know if it's my connection, but I think I understand your question. So specifically, we encourage through conversations like we're having right now, Denise. We encourage students
Mhm.
who are, whether in high school or are in college, to really open their eyes, open the door of possibility to majors in computer science, computer information systems, computer engineering, just so that they can have the knowledge base that can and consider the pathway, the career pathway of software engineering. Again, through one of our programs, the Access to Tech Software Engineer Program Initiative, um, for short, Access to Tech.
Mhm.
Really, what we're doing is we're taking entry level software engineers, folks who
Mhm.
graduate from computer science programs, um, computer information systems programs, whatever. As long as you know how to code, whether you're self taught, graduate of a boot camp, we'll take you, we'll support you, we'll guide you alongside mentors to understand what is the technical interview process, develop strategies around going through the technical interview process successfully, and kind of present opportunities through various events for you to access your first role as a software engineer.
Can you see my I'm adding your presentation to the
Oh,
stream. Let's see if it pops in. Did it pop in?
yes, I just saw it. So,
Okay. Give it a second. Hold on a second. It's
right.
just
So, okay,
registering.
I'll go through this a little bit. So, a little bit
Wait,
about
just
Vision Voice is we are a
mhm.
virtual community that is global, um, where we're creating access to sustainable and successful careers as software engineers for Afro-X,
Mhm.
Black, African, African American, Afro Caribbean, South American. As long as you identify as a person of color, we'll support you, we'll guide you, we'll help you understand the technical interview process through our Access to Tech programs and program initiatives. Again, the problem that we're trying to address is the fact that less than 2% of the tech ecosystem, all software engineers in the US, are female and African American or BIPOC. And we want to see that change. We want to see that number improve and grow quickly and substantially to be to be a greater representation of what the actual population is. Um, Again, we're hoping to create opportunities for sustainable, really sustainable careers, right? Because as an engineer, your tech is not going anywhere. So this career pathway is going to be around for a long time. Um, so we want to create opportunities for students to really move out of poverty, move out of uh, certain socioeconomic status, and really
Mhm.
move and have greater opportunities for financial opportunities as well for themselves, their families. I mean, I was speaking to one of our. Can you see me, Denise? I was
Mhm.
speaking to one of our Access to Tech participants in the past, and she now lives in Texas. After coaching, going through several interviews, she landed a role as a cybersecurity engineer for a company in Texas, and she's first generation immigrant to the country, and now was going through so much stress, so worried when we first began working together through the program. and now she's up for promotion. She has a greater sense of peace, and is just really happy with how her life is going, and for achieving her goals to become an engineer. So I think, what we're offering to students is an opportunity to explore this career pathway as a possibility for themselves. And if they like it, if they love it, if they have a passion for it, they'll stick with it, and it'll make all the difference, I think, for their lives and for those of their families.
Well, I'm trying to add it to the stream. I'm getting it partially, but it's not working. I apologize for this. We've been trying to get our technical difficulties.
Don't
Let's
worry.
see. Did it pop up?
If it pops, it's back
up.
It's back up.
It's back up. But some people are telling me, yeah, some people are telling me it's not working. It could be on my end, because I picked a different location this time. Okay, so let's not worry about it. You keep talking about the opportunities, and then we will.
Okay.
I'll try to add this to the stream. Okay, go ahead.
Awesome. So I actually wanted to share about an opportunity that we have coming up, that Faith had just shared as well. That's this. It's a skills incubator. So it's part of our Access to Tech program, but this one is just for about 4 to 5 weeks, and this virtual incubator is open to anyone who is interested in just exploring Vision Voice, exploring our Access to Tech program, really having an opportunity to network with the global community of software engineers, and really gain an understanding of technical interview process and strategies, learn about data structures and algorithms, behavioral interview strategies, as well as having opportunities for professional networking, and really understanding the purpose and how to bring your authentic self to professional networking opportunities. We also will provide mentors. Yeah.
So what does that mean as providing this access? How do you go about that? What does the day in a life look like at this training program?
So, well, each day is different, and each day will be different depending on the topic that we're covering, what part of the program you're in, what stage you're at, and also who your mentor is. What are the things that you're struggling with specifically with the technical interview process? And it's very, very targeted to students' needs. So what happens is, in the first session, you'll have an assessment, sort of a mock interview. We don't expect anyone to do really well in the first mock interview, right? Because that's why you're coming to us. So, but we want to see what you know and how you would perform in an actual technical interview from day one. Then we take you through our program curriculum, which, again, overview around technical interviews, deep dive into technical interview process and strategies, data structures and algorithms. I'll share a little bit more about that in a minute. And then, of course, behavioral interview. For folks who don't know what behavioral interviews are, it's every time you hear an interviewer ask you a question where they say, well, tell me about a time you've experienced this and what did you do? Okay, so those are behavioral interview type of questions where you're encouraged to draw upon your past professional experience to demonstrate what would be your normal way of operating and acting within the role that you're applying for. And so, and then of course we talk about the importance of building professional networks and strategies to do so, and do so authentically, not in a forced and artificial manner, but in a way that really builds rapport with people and like opens doors of opportunities for yourself and those who are coming behind you. So yes.
Okay, so if that is part of all your training,
Yes.
what does somebody need to bring to the table to be able to be qualified to come to the training? Because that's a lot of technical stuff.
Bring yourself. Are you interested in understanding what it means to be a software engineer? Are you in college? Maybe, I don't know, are you in high school going into college? Are you already in college, whether it's 2-year, 4-year institution? Are you thinking about your major? Are you someone who likes to tackle problems? Do you like to solve things, you know? Are you solution driven in a sense? Are you creative? You don't always have to be solution driven to be a software engineer, by the way. Mm-hmm. Just bringing your authentic self. One thing you need to have is an interest.
Mm-hmm.
Are you interested in this? Are you interested in exploring it and seeing if it's a good fit for you? Mm-hmm. Do you want to change your life for the better? And do you think this might be the way to do so? Mm-hmm. Do you want to find a sense of purpose? Do you think of yourself as someone who's gone through a lot of difficulties in life, maybe, or some difficulties in life, and, you know, but somehow you just keep getting back up again because, hey, that's what you have to do, right? Mm-hmm. Those characteristics are really, really important, believe it or not. Dr. What's her name? Dr. Angela Duckworth, great TED Talk on grit and the importance of grit in advancement in academics. Well, it's the same thing in the professional sphere. Grit is really having that ability to bounce back, or resilience to bounce back from obstacles and hardships in such a way that it propels you forward to greater success. You have that perseverance to push through. So if you think you're the kind of person that can do that, but hey, you're kind of like, you can handle a challenge and you're not easily, even if you think you're easily phased, don't let that dissuade you. But if you think you're not easily phased by a challenge, that's a good indicator as well. One of the things is that I like to say to students is, once you get your hands coding, physically coding, and really interacting with others like you who are learning alongside you with your instructor and your mentors, like, if that energy that's in the room makes you feel alive and have a sense of purpose and drives you, makes you like, yeah, I want, you find yourself coming again and again to that space, then this is something that really you're beginning to love. Then pursue that, right? You don't know if you're passionate about something until you actually experienced it. So we are encouraging folks to just come and see. And then if you like what you see, stick around. And as long as you stick around, we're going to support you. We're going to help you. We're going to guide you. We're going to do whatever we need to do to catalyze your growth, to achieve your sense of purpose as an engineer, or whatever role you want to achieve in this tech ecosystem.
And I think it's important because there are so many different roles that you guys are trying to pursue out there, whether it's in healthcare, in aviation, in finance, and all of it relates to coding. All of it relates to tech. It is a second language. I think it's not just important, but it's also imperative for us, like as you've been stressing, as a people, to find ways to excel in those areas. What are some of the majors that somebody should be taking or classes they should be taking in school to actually
Say that
brush up
again.
on? What kind of
What
major?
are
What
some
is
of the
the
majors?
and classes that you should be taking in school?
Say that again, Denise.
What are some of the majors that you should be taking in school or the classes you should be taking while learning tech?
Okay, so most schools, whether two-year institutions or four-year institutions, will have a computer information systems or computer science program track. I highly recommend you take you speak with your student advisor and let them know I'm really interested in this career pathway and I want to be prepared in order to explore this career pathway alongside my other interests as well. So how can I manage my schedule to uh, take intro to computer science? And one of the pivotal courses that you're going to need to take is data structures and algorithms, which which many folks can find challenging, but really and truly, after you come to us and we break it down to you around about what's the data structure, what's an algorithm, how do they work together to solve problems, specifically computational problems, and like how do computational problems. And when I say computational problems, I mean problems that you need code to solve, things that you need, like to run this app, right? Like how do they relate to our lived experience in creating something new? So or building on something that's already been done and improving it, which is being in an innovative manner. So like really and truly, once you come to us and our mentors, not me, our mentors and our instructors break down data structures and algorithms for you in these amazing way, it just makes sense, and it's a specific way in which you will be able to understand and apply your understanding in a technical interview that will get you success that you're looking for. Again, everything, for example, all of this this app has something behind it called architecture, right? So data structures. So are at play and algorithms are at work in order for us to be able to live stream and not have a whole lot of chaos happening.
So sort of kind of no chaos. I'm still having a little chaos with my connection. It's not perfect. It's not perfect.
Technology is not perfect. It's made by us, and we are not perfect. And so what we create is not perfect either, right? But that's okay. One thing, if technology was 100% perfect, I'd be terrified, because then, it's supposed to break once in a while. That's my feeling.
And the key thing is that while you're in school, or if you're deciding to go back to school, taking classes in coding, taking architecture, computer science, or software engineering, some type of informational classes to get you learning the basics will be really good. You mentioned some of your mentors, some of the people who you're listening to, are watching. Name those names again, those superstars. Who are those people, those women, those people of color who you're leaning towards all the time to actually influence you?
Actually, to be quite honest, I'm going to be all like old school. My mom's a teacher. She's my number one influencer, because how I learned to read, how I learned mathematics, how I learned in the early years is very heavily influenced by how she taught me. And her drive for education and excellence. So that's number one. Miss King Shepherd, yes, right? The next person I would say is Dr. Joy Bulami. Again, follow her on LinkedIn. Only influencer I really follow on LinkedIn. She's an amazing person. That did amazing research. I respect it. Respect her drive, and she has an organization called the Algorithmic Justice League, which I really like too. So, this is me fangirling Dr. Bulami. Hi.
That's awesome. So you're
And
teaching me things I teach me of people I never heard of. So this is awesome.
yes, and then there's so many other folks that I follow and are influenced and are influencing the work that
Mhm.
I'm doing. I would say also, like, some of those people you're gonna get a good chance to meet and hear from at our annual conference this summer, which is from August 12th to August 14th. We're
Mhm.
hosting a think tank and roundtable discussion for change makers, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, uh, change makers in tech. So we're inviting folks to basically come and strategize with us around how we can move the needle and shift towards greater equity and inclusion of people of color in tech as the folks building the technology. And so this is going to be amazing. Again, tech cuts across every industry. I call it the tech ecosystem because it is not I don't think of it as an industry. I think of it as an ecosystem that is inclusive of all the industries, whether fashion, education, healthcare,
Mhm.
transportation,
Mhm.
city infrastructure. So city and state, countries, you name it, right?
Mhm.
Every
Mhm.
organization has some sort of technical or need for software engineers
Mhm.
and folks who are going to be managing, whether it's from an IT perspective or from the perspective of folks who are actually building technologies and like creating products and deploying code.
You mentioned the mathematics. What are some of the mathematics that you have to master in order to be in the tech world?
Wait a minute. I don't want to talk about that, Denise, because I don't know who is listening to this, and I don't want to get them all terrified and scared.
Well, tell me, give me a team. Well, you're being real. I love it. I love it. She just said,
I
wait a minute,
mean,
hold up.
come on, come on. Okay, so you take your algebra, you take your calculus, then you take your linear mathematics, discrete math. But before you really think about math, just relax. Just
Mm,
relax. Try building what my former supervisor would say is muscle memory.
mm,
Okay? Try learning to code. Being a software developer, being a coder is fun, right? See if you can build something, a static web page, a responsive web page. Okay, now explore how you can create a more interactive experience or an app.
mhm,
There's so much out there that you can learn without having to master discrete math. I
mhm.
understand some data structures and algorithms, and I never took discrete math. So, like, don't worry about what you don't know. And the if you're if you ever went hiking, which I've
Mhm.
done, and you're going uphill, if you keep your eye looking up at how high you have to go, you will never reach that point when your knees and your thighs and your calves are burning, right? What you need to do is focus on what is before you, the next step, and how, enjoy the experience of going on this hike, right?
That's good.
Similarly to learning anything. Enjoy the now. Be fully mindful and present to the experience of what it is that you're trying to learn. Fully immerse yourself in it, and get excited and passionate and happy and discover new things and be creative. And before you know it, you'll be at this mountaintop of being a software engineer and catapulting to an amazing career. So
I love how you express that, where you're telling you take your time, enjoy the moment. Each step will carry its own journey. Basically, enjoy that journey, embrace the moment. What do you say to young people when they're overwhelmed with their whole process, even in your training classes?
yes.
They get told by their professors, you should consider another career because, some kids, some of the students that we work with, they call us up and they said they've been told by their professor that they think, you should, give up because they're not grasping it. We call it imposter syndrome sometimes, or we call it identity, like not being able to identify with a role. How do you talk to those young people to keep them motivated, keep them off the ledge?
Well, first off, so what you describe are two different things, right?
Mhm.
First, you describe just blatant discouragement of someone who's experiencing a hiccup, a struggle, an obstacle in their learning process, in their journey towards becoming who they,
Mhm.
actualizing who they want to become, which is a software engineer, their career pathway, right? So when someone meets you at that juncture where you're struggling and they're discouraging you, don't listen to them. Have selective hearing. Do not listen to them. What you need to do, what I encourage you to do, is take a step back and rediscover your purpose, your sense of love and passion for the work that you're trying to do. Do something else. I've encouraged, I remember having a conversation with one of our participants who was struggling. And I told her, what do you do for fun? What do you do to relax? And she's like, I like music. I play drums. I was like, go do that for 20 minutes, then come back to coding. Do something else I forget where I read this. I had read a research paper around like how important it is to take breaks. And actually in the learning, there's this method called the Pomodoro method, I think it's called, where you take breaks, you do something else, you come back with a fresh mindset. It allows your brain to make connections and problem solve in a way that is, I feel, when I've experienced it, unconscious. So when I come back to the problem that I was struggling with, I have this new perspective, and suddenly I'm making connections and understanding things in a radically different way. So that brings me over the hurdle. Another thing is ask questions. Throughout the technical interview process, you're going to hit hurdles because those are challenging questions. Always ask clarifying questions if you don't understand something. And I always tell students, don't wait until the house is burning down before you start running and calling 911, right? Ask for help when you see the smoke, right? And I'm preaching to the choir here because preaching to myself too, because this is something that I think as women and as people of color, we are like, we're like, you gotta be strong, Well, don't ask nobody for help. No, ask for help. There's nothing wrong with that. There's everything good and wonderful about asking for help. And in a technical interview process, that's something that you're actually encouraged to do. And they're looking for people who will be like, well, but of course, you don't want to say, well, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do, bye. You want to say, well, I'm thinking this is where I'm at. This is how I'm understanding this. I'm not sure where to go from here right now.
I like that. And it's very important to ask for help. And also in area that you're talking about and speaking of, you work together in teams a lot because you're problem solving.
That's
What
right.
if your strengths are specifically in this area or specifically in another area, and your team member is like, hey, I know how to solve that problem where you're stuck.
Mhm.
It's good to, why is it so good to work together in teams in coding? Like, what is the whole purpose?
So, okay, you're building something, and like you said, everyone has their own strengths and abilities, right? So we augment each other. We come together to make a full whole, a team that's fully working and operating, to create something that is functional, that is useful, that is creative and innovative, and it's going to help make human lived experience better, for example, right? So, for example, if you're building an app, what you see for this app is the front end, right? The interface. Like, I can click on the mute button, I can switch off and switch on my camera. All of that is front end technology, right? So you have front end software engineers building that. These are people who are really creative. You also have, they collaborate with user designers, right?
UX people.
And they, yeah, yes. Well, no, UI people, user, the user interface is
Interface.
UI, and then they user experience. So these are designers, UI UX designers. These are folks that understand how people like me and you want to operate and utilize technology, hardware and software. And they talk to software developers who are front-end developers to create that live that experience that we're looking for. And then you have your software engineers who are doing all of the architecture stuff, like creating, like, where does all the data go, the audio to bring to, so that you can hear me, so that you can see me, so we can see the text on the screen as we type in the chat. All of that's back-end developers, right? And so there are different mindsets and ways that people like to operate and work, but because we're so different, we can come together and create a whole app, right? That is amazing, and it allows us to have this event and this opportunity to speak with each other. You on the West Coast, me on the East Coast, folks all over the world.
So how can people get started, like, with getting in the training program, getting prepared for that tech interview? I have your website being shown here. I've shown it throughout our presentation today,
Yes.
and it has all your information on your website. I saw that. What's the pitch? What do you want our young people to find out? Is there an age limit? How many spots do you have open? What are some of the technical companies that you might be, exposed to in this whole process?
Okay, so I'll tell you, we are currently we're hosting the virtual incubator, skills incubator, that starts on July 14th and goes to August 20th. We're also hosting the Access to Tech conference, which will be hybrid. We'll have a space for folks that can attend in person here in New York City, and then we'll also have folks' ability to come in virtually as well. Again, there's no limit to the number of folks that can participate in these opportunities. We do have some sponsored scholarship opportunities for folks who want to come through the virtual incubator and come to the conference at no cost as well. That's definitely there and available. I open it up for folks from your community. We have 20 slots for folks from your community that are willing to or want to explore software engineering as a career pathway. the only requirement is that you have to be 18 years old and you have to want to explore that interest. And maybe you should know how to code a little bit or be interested in exploring how to code. You know, I've worked with a young woman from Dominica who is an accountant and wanted to basically become a software engineer, and she's killing it after 6 months. So, yes.
Yes. Okay. So I put the position up there, which you're speaking of, which is the deadline is going to be June 30th. And that it's more than 2 weeks, but we put, we kind of summed it up. And then you have what's going on with your access to tech. What is that? What is that opportunity? The one that's later on.
Yes, the Access to Tech conference is on August 12th, 13th, and 14th this year, and
Mm-hmm.
will be that information will be on our website shortly. So just keep your eyes posted and keep visiting the website. Also, fill out the form on the website or scan the QR code and fill out the form here. Either way, you'll get directly to our team, and folks are coming into the virtual incubator or skills incubator will actually get to go to the conference as well.
How important is this exposure? This exposure is amazing. So
Networking.
how, why did you create this much exposure? I'm just curious, like, what were your thoughts behind creating this exposure?
This exposure, like I said, I'm driven by one thing. You know, again, we have core values at Vision Voice. One of them is purpose, and by purpose I mean having a sense of fidelity and commitment to making a meaningful contribution to the world with your life, whatever you do. And part of how I want to do that is by helping as many people as I can discover an interest in computer science and software engineering, support them into building their skills and abilities, and getting them to catalyze them their growth and help them to launch their careers. That's it, you know. So my goal is to create that greater representation of people of color, women and people of color in tech as the people building the technologies, because I just had an image in my mind of after watching Coded Bias of how technology is drastically changing our lived experience and has done so over the last 30-50 years, and how much more it's going to change our lived experience in the next 30 to 50 years. And if we don't have diversity, if we don't have equity in an equitable manner, like there's going to be the inequities that we experience today. It's going to be nothing compared to the nightmare of tomorrow, and I don't want to see that future.
Well, you kind of speak on, you're hitting on when you're looking at healthcare inequities, sometimes they use algorithms. They plug in algorithms
Yes.
About a person.
That's a whole other. So AI,
yes.
folks that create algorithms, those again, this is why I really think software engineering is just like an entry into the world of tech. Yes? Yeah. There's so much more. And if you discover what is possible for you and what interests you, what gives you a sense of purpose, just by coming into the tech ecosystem, go for it. We've had, like I said, we had 100% of our folks get hired from our pilot, right? At least one of them is not a software engineer, but more so on the product management side of things, which I mentioned to you has a more that's a position that's managing a whole app, right? A whole product, tech
Mhm.
product, and
Mhm.
supporting and directing the work of software engineers building that product. So again,
So you're discovering not just the coders and the architects, the people who are behind the scenes. You're also discovering those who can manage those positions,
yes,
who fit in a different role in
yes,
software engineering and technology, and may not have known that that was their strengths.
yes,
This is excellent. So your course, your training will discover your strengths. It will
yes,
discover your abilities and where your weaknesses are. You guys will help build that out. That's what I'm hearing. And also, you can also guide them in ways that they can open up their career pathway in ways that they never seen before. So, all that being said, Vision Voice is a one stop shop for training and speaking to the needs of developing the next future software engineers in tech. So this is really wonderful, and you are very intimate as far as how you talk. You're very personable, which is what we like. We like that personal connection.
thank
Is
you.
there any final things that you want to say to our audience? We've put up the website. I'll put it up again, and we have a couple other announcements, and you guys have the QR code there. But Dessa, is there anything else that you want to share and express to our audience, the importance of what you do and how you're doing your work, and have people get involved more?
Absolutely. I would say, even if this is something, if anything that I've said interests you or or piques your curiosity, reach out to me. Just come and see. I'm happy to have conversations with folks. I'm happy to support anyone who just wants to uncover their sense of purpose, receive coaching, mentorship, support on their own professional journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just reach out and come and see if anything piques your curiosity. And lastly, what I want to say is thank you, Denise,
Mm-hmm.
and thank you to you and your team and your founder for all the amazing work that you're doing and for inviting me to speak to your community. I'm just very grateful for what you're doing, your mission, and I can't wait to participate more and collaborate more with you and support you as well.
And where are you based out of? You're based out of the East Coast, right?
Literally, I'm in my apartment in East Flatbush, Brooklyn, New York. And I would say we're virtual. We're 100% virtual community. Our first in-person anything is going to be our Access to Tech conference this summer, which is going to be hybrid. That is because we have folks who participate in our programs from the Caribbean, from Africa, from the USA, from South America. So we don't have a physical location. We are a community that is growing, and we want to create that sense of belonging to within the and create that sense of access to opportunities to create this more equitable and just future that we envision.
I love it. And I want to thank you, Dessa, for this opportunity and you're sharing it. You can also go to our website that's on our banner below, which says www.thecollegeexpo.org. You can scroll to an area that says programs or for students, and you'll find college internships and careers under those taglines for students or is the area that you want to go to. And I'm also going to bring back Faith. If I just, I'm pretty amazed about this opportunity, but I'm going to bring back Faith. She has one more thing to share with our community. Faith, you
Hello,
there?
everyone. I'm here to talk about today's HBCU fun fact. I'm very, very honored because it is about my own
While we
school,
wait to
the
see if Faith is
illustrious.
there, I just wanted to say thank you, Faith. You have
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
Go ahead. There was a delay. Go ahead. What did you say, Dessa?
Oh, there was a delay. I was just saying thank you to Faith because all of my interactions with her have been very positive. She's just amazing young woman. Can hardly believe you're in college. You're just so
Thank
young.
you. Thank you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, she's the best. Faith is the best.
Thank you. Alrighty, but tonight's fun fact is brought to you by the illustrious Florida A&M, the highest of 7 hills. And so we are going to talk about the oldest building on our campus. It is what used to be the Carnegie Library, what is also known as the Black Archives. So, Florida A&M, being the #1 public HBCU, had this building built in 1908 after Andrew Carnegie was turned down by the city of Tallahassee to build this building because it was going to be a library that was accessible to Black people. And being that it was 1908, they shut him down. So Florida A&M, being the only Black college in the area, built it. And so it currently holds Florida's immense African American history. So documents, books, really anything you want to know about Black history in regards to the state of Florida can be found in this building. There are also, I believe, 2 other buildings that are expansions of this one, but nothing is quite like the original. So if you have the chance to visit Tallahassee, Florida, specifically home of the Rattlers, Florida A&M, please, please, please come check it out. It is great. It is right at the center of our campus next to Coleman Library.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Faith. And I just want to end this segment by saying this was awesome. Vision Voices doing the work. And I want to thank Dessa Shepherd for joining us and talking about the opportunities. And I also want to thank my assistant and HBCU student who's a psych major, Miss Faith, who can't wait to go back to school. That's exciting. And also to the rest of the National College Resources Foundation's team. We're out on the front lines doing the work. Don't forget to follow us on all our social medias on NCRF TV Network, which is on YouTube, our NCR Foundation LinkedIn page, our Instagram page, and our Facebook, all found under National College Resources Foundation. My name is Mrs. Denise Parker. I am the manager of internships and careers for the National College Resources Foundation. My goal is to make sure you guys get into college, get careers, and go beyond your wildest dreams. That's our brand, College Careers and Beyond. Join us either every week at our virtuals. Next week is with Robbie Cerrone from Paramount. He's going to be talking about communication careers, event planning, all the above related to entertainment. He's from Paramount Studios. And we're also going to have some special guests coming in July and a resume building workshop, and you name it. Every week we're doing something. We're trying to keep your summer full and filled so that you guys are prepared. This is Elevate Your Game, a series that's focused on getting you ready for your future. Thank you. Bye.